How about them tops, son?
All day, SEC boys. SEC, they supposed to be SEC. Crazy all day, baby.
You're listening to the Red Out Podcast.
Hello and welcome into another Red Out Podcast. I am your host, Devin, and we are in here in my bomb shelter trying to avoid the coronavirus tonight. So, let's see. Oh, we got Matt. He's entered the studio. Hit the little phone button, Matt. Dun, dun, dun. Jared's live. Matt would like to call in. Matt, are you on? Or Jared?
It's B.
Okay. Let me see if I can get Matt. He says he's... Let me see if I can get him on here.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's been
we'll
so
see
long.
Now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. What's up, buddy?
Hello.
Hey.
There he is.
Yeah. All
Welcome to the
right.
party.
Long time no here, I guess.
Listen,
Yeah, man, I missed it.
I know, right? Well, we've missed having you on. We've been trying to talk some lady top basketball, but just not that good at it as you are anyway.
I know, I've been listening to y'all fools. I got to correct you and stuff.
please do.
So I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Ross said he's going to be a little late, and Alex has choir practice tonight, so he said he might pop in. He might not be able to. Either way, it's fine. So first off, winners and losers. First off, I guess loser, the world, coronavirus continues.
Somehow.
And
Y'all
I'm
don't wash
sorry.
your hands. You heathens.
Okay.
Wash your hands.
The disgusting part about this is people are hoarding toilet paper.
And that's the thing I don't understand. Do they think that it gives you the runs or something like that? Because if you look at the symptoms for it, that's not one of them. It's like coughing, a fever. And shortness of breath. And that's it. So I don't know where that's coming from, but whatever.
I don't know either, but that's
we
the
live
part
in a society.
Yes, completely agree. And the toilet, well, my wife and I went to Walmart last night, and the toilet paper situation wasn't as bad as I had seen online.
Yeah.
There were still brands that still had plenty of paper. Now, there was several that were gone, but it was, it wasn't like you see on the internet. So, I don't know. People are stupid. But with that news, I guess the NCAA is canceling anybody going to March Madness, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, I still want to go and have like a full hazmat suit on and have a sign that says "Let me in" and just stand outside of it and see what kind of national attention that gets.
I mean, I don't even know if you need like a hazmat. Just get one of those gas masks, those really bad looking ones, and just stand outside with the sign.
Yes.
I think one of my winners this week would have to be the Italian soccer player. Have you all seen this?
I know someone got coronavirus, I think.
Well, this guy didn't get coronavirus, but
then I don't know. That's the only soccer stuff I know of. And Italy has it really bad too, so I don't know.
well, this guy, they canceled all their sporting events in Italy. So when he entered the stadium for a match or whatever you want to call that, there was nobody there. So he's just greeting empty seats and acting like there's hundreds of thousands of people there. It's really funny. Check it out. It's on. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. Italian soccer player greeting empty crowd, but
yes, I did see that. Just kidding.
It's really funny. It's really funny. It's just really, really goofy. And let me see. I want to do your really weird one real quick, Jared. Let me see.
Okay, I remember. Can I say it? Can I just do it?
Go ahead. Yeah, you go ahead.
All right. So I guess I'll just say that my loser for this week, just specifically out of everything that's happening, I'll just say Rudy Gobert for the Utah Jazz. Because this man, I tell you, like they were talking about the Jazz's, what they're doing for the COVID-19 and all of that, just coronavirus precautions. And see, he thought it was like a joke, and he went and made a point to touch every single microphone that the media had in that room. And 2 days later, he's listed as questionable from the Jazz with the illness. So you literally can't make this stuff up.
No, you really can't. It's hilarious. So speaking of the COVID-19, let's see. Correct me if I'm wrong. They've got a plan to start they're cutting out in classroom time. Correct?
Yeah,
UK is that right?
I think so.
I think Berea is. IU is. I saw that on the news. Western, have they discussed it? I saw something,
Yeah,
but
I can give you an update on that because
Okay.
I tweeted it out on the towel rack. Western is giving another week for spring break that will last this upcoming week. And then from the time that's over until I think April 5th.
April 5th, wasn't
is
it?
yeah, it was April 5th is when they're going to have face-to-face classes again, but they're not going to have any after that. So it's going to be an extra spring break for all you Western people, so enjoy it.
Nice.
If there's any good way of looking at it, I mean, at least you get another week off and you have online classes now. So if you're a commuter, especially, congrats.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine being like completely online?
Man, I would have been so hyped because I remember Snowmageddon in 2015. I think it was when we got like 9 inches of snow and I didn't have class for a week. It was the greatest. Because you can't make it up either. There's no snow days in college because once they get
Nope.
that graduation date set, there's nothing you can do about it.
That's right. Oh my gosh, I think one of the worst things for me going to Western was I had a professor that went to that lived in Michigan, so he never missed class.
Of course.
Like it would snow, and he'd be like, "Well, I expect everybody there today," and you're like, "What?"
This is the South.
Yeah, we get like a half inch of snow and everything's shut down. But
You're right.
Matt, do you have any winners and losers?
Oh, mine are probably boring.
That's okay.
Yeah, man. I actually went with normal crap. Other than sports. I felt really bad for San Diego State. All they had to do was win in the conference tournament, and they lose to Utah State, and they were going to be a 1 seed and all this stuff, and they blow it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, felt bad for them. That's my loser. I really didn't have any winners. But I had another loser. I'd say the freaking draw for either one, the men or the women in basketball for the conference tournament. Man.
Yeah, Matt hadn't got to experience the new setup, so
Oh yeah.
yeah, I got clapping, I got cheering.
Any type of information that you think
That's
you deserve is
fancy.
impressive about.
Yeah.
That's fancy.
Yeah. Okay. So Matt, are you good? You got anything else?
Yeah, man, that's it. That was exciting, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Completely exciting. I mean,
You're welcome.
seriously though, San Diego State. I mean, that sounds like a Western move. I'm sorry.
It does.
All you got to do is this, and they're like, let's not do that. Let's do
I
something
mean,
else.
seriously, there could have been 3 mid-major 1 seeds potentially.
That would have been insane. And I
That
would
would've
have
been really-
believed of it.
They blew it.
That would have been really funny. Yeah, I feel for him, but not really. So we're gonna play a little game real quick, and I am very underprepared for this game. So let's see how this works. Okay.
That sounds like a remote, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. Here we go. Okay, we're gonna play coronavirus or the flu. Okay.
Boy.
So, okay, sorry, my Google kicked off and I didn't want it to start talking. Okay, so the symptom, stupid phone. The symptom is sore throat, flu, or the coronavirus.
Flu.
Good job, Jared. Headache.
Flu.
Good, man. You're doing good. You've been
All right,
paying-
there's only like 3 symptoms to the coronavirus, which that's the whole thing is that I'm like, wow, okay. I mean, the flu has a lot worse symptoms than corona does, but yeah,
Yes.
it's been blown down to proportions in my opinion.
Okay. I'll do something a little more difficult here. Okay. Trying to find my stats. Here we go. Okay. Percent death rate. Well, no, let's not do that one. Sorry, that's got something else in there. All right, this is really well prepared. I'm just saying. Where did my little chart go? Oh God, I hate you. World Health Organization crap. Y'all, your website sucks. I'm just saying. Okay, so basically, what I was going to try and find was, there was a stat, and it had anybody over the age of 80 had like a 11% chance of death, or 21% chance, I think. So that's what I was going to go to next. But everybody else is like 0.1, 0.8. And if you had like cardiovascular, respiratory illness, or diabetes, apparently is another one, the rate of mortality increases. And I was like, okay.
Well, that's Corona,
Yes.
right?
Yes, that was coronavirus. Of course, the flu is, I mean, and that's the thing that kills me is flu illnesses are about 49 million annually. They do medical visits with about 23 million annually, hospitalizations about 620,000, and the flu annually kills about 52,000 people. But, I mean, I'm just saying.
See, do you want my take?
Take
This is what I think about all of this. Like, for those of you this is probably most of the people listen to the podcast, but for those of you in like the central part of Kentucky, like around Franklin or Bowling Green, Cave City, of course, where you're at, Devin, and just kind of like this whole area of Kentucky, we don't have anything to worry about especially if you don't know many people that have been traveling internationally. Like, if you just kind of stay at home, maybe go to work or school, and then come home, you're not going to get coronavirus. You're just not, especially if you wash your hands and take care of yourself like a person with normal hygiene would. In Kentucky, you have a better chance of your house getting swallowed up by a sinkhole than you do coronavirus, honestly. I mean, we live on top of the largest cave system in the world, and that's probably more likely to happen if you live at home and you just go to work and then come home and not really socialize much or fly internationally much. You're not going to get it that much. That's what I think about all of this, is that especially in Franklin. I live in Franklin. There's like maybe 8,000 people in the city here, maybe a few more in the county. I think it's like 11, 12,000 people in Simpson County for whatever reason. But in my opinion, I mean, we don't have anything to worry about here. I mean, there might be people that have gone off somewhere, who had gone to an airport or someplace where it may have been at. Heck, where I work at in Starbucks, I mean, there's been a case in Nashville of someone at Vanderbilt that has the coronavirus, and some of the customers that come in, I talk to them and be like, hey, how's it going? Be like, oh, just going to work. Be like, oh, where's work? And be like, working in the ER in Vanderbilt. So, I mean, there is those kind of connections that exist, but guess what? I wash my hands after I interact with people like that, and it's not that big of a deal. The only people who should really worry are the elderly people. Like, the older you are, the more chance that it has to really affect you. So that's the main thing, is just be mindful if you go see someone that's older, like a parent, grandparent. Just wash your hands before you go see them. That's just the moral of the story, is wash your hands, really.
I mean, that's my thing is if people treated this like a really bad flu outbreak, I think we'd be better off.
Yeah, honestly.
Just wash your hands, you nasty people. And I mean, my wife and I, we had to take Abby, my daughter. She's 6 weeks today. We had to take her to the doctor last week. I know the math is off, for her month appointment. So there's a sign at the doctor, and it says, "Have you been out of the country, or do you know someone who has been outside of the country?" First off, if you do that 6 degree thing, you have no idea who's been outside the country and who has. You know, I don't know. You know, I run into Joe Schmo, and they could have just shook hands with somebody who got off a plane from China or somewhere else. I'm not just saying China, Italy or wherever. You know, they could have just got off the plane. Who knows? I don't have a clue. You know, I mean, as long as they're not licking that person's palms, I don't really have a problem with it. But, you know, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, just be smart. I mean, and I completely feel like the media has blown everything out of proportion.
Same.
But I will refer to, what is that guy's name? I can't think of his name, but he's the YouTube doctor. Just watch some of his stuff. He's really informative on a lot of stuff, and he's got a lot of good stuff. But anyway, actually, well, I'm going to skip over this. I was going to say, if you've ever seen the movie Surrogates, that's kind of what I feel like we're going to.
No.
Do you know the movie Surrogate?
I mean, I've seen the movie Outbreak.
Surrogate is a movie where everybody has their own personal robot that goes out into the world.
See, that
and
would
they
be
all
cool.
stay at home.
No,
You stay at home and you control your robot that's out in the world doing your job. and you never go outside. I'm like, good gosh. It's an awful movie, but it's got Bruce Willis, and it's kind of funny. But anyway, so some quick news. Paige Briggs and Lauren Matthews are going to be joining the USA Volleyball Pipeline, the collegiate national team. That was told today. That was told right before we started. And so congratulations to you ladies. Looks like softball won their series against MTSU. Then they played them on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Don't have the scores in front of me. They also beat Belmont, and they lost to UT Arlington 4-5 on the 10th. Let's see. They will be playing North Texas for the 13th to the 15th, and then they'll be playing Tennessee Tech on the 18th. Baseball went 2-1 against Purdue.
That's
and then
good.
on Sunday, this is what kills me. On Sunday, they lost 1-19. Like,
I
what
guess
in the-
it just kind of burned out.
I mean, did they run out of
Won the
pitchers?
series bench everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, did
We're
they ran out of pitchers, I guess, and just put it on a tee.
I mean, they won the series, so I mean, give them a break.
I mean, yeah, I'm giving them a break, but it was just, I don't remember. I was doing something with Abby, just changed her, doing whatever, and all of a sudden I got the alert from the WKU app, and I was like, 19-1? 19-1? I think I could even, I'm not going to say I could do better, but anyway.
Yeah, I definitely not.
I definitely couldn't. Lost to Kentucky 4-10 on the 10th, so that was yesterday. Yeah, that sucks.
Daggum cats.
Them Cates. UAB series is going to be the 13th to the 15th, so this will coming weekend. And then they'll play Austin P on the 17th, so that's next Tuesday. So check those games out. All right, so we're finally in the meat. Since we got the Lady Topper Guru here, looks like Lady Tops beat Charlotte on the 5th, and they beat La Tech on the 7th, and then they will be jumping into Conference USA play. They will be playing, is that tomorrow?
Yeah,
is that right?
2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be playing tomorrow at 2 o'clock. It's on ESPN Plus. So if you're being quarantined, I guess you can watch it. And then
If you pay $4.99 a month.
yeah, if you pay for it. WKU is a 3 seed. They will be playing either North Texas or Charlotte.
And
Matt,
it just went. It's already final. They're going to be playing Charlotte. So
stupid BG Daily News. You need to update your crap.
Called out. Maybe you should follow the towel rack, Devin.
Yes, I should. I should pay more attention to the towel rack. Is what it is. Follow the towel rack for more news and articles and stuff. Yes, they will be playing Charlotte. I think my dumbass wrote that down in my notes and I just forgot to read it. Anyway, so they'll be playing Charlotte. So, Matt, what do you think of the matchup against Charlotte?
Yeah, well, okay. We've played them twice already this year, and we have handled them. We beat them on the road in a really tight game. It was really good. This last one was tighter than the score said, but it was 71-60. I think I don't remember. I didn't pull it up, but I think in the first half we were down. We were down at halftime, and then we blew them out in the third quarter, and then pulled away. I think Charlotte is. They're very good. They're top 62, I think, in the country. I think they're 62nd in the country in the RPI. So for the Lady Tops to win the championship, they're likely going to have to beat 3 top 60 teams. Because they got Charlotte, and then they're likely to get Old Dominion, who's 33rd, and then they either get Middle or Rice, who are both top 55. So it's going to be a tough road unless there's some upsets somewhere. But so far they get Charlotte, and it's tough to beat a team 3 times in one season. But honestly, they're playing really well right now, and I wouldn't bet against them. And I feel decent about it.
Okay, that's good. So if you had to bet Western would beat Charlotte, sorry. If Western beat Charlotte or you got the coronavirus, which one would be more likely?
Well, definitely beating Charlotte, man.
Okay,
I
just
mean,
checking.
if Jared's talking about, well, I live in Franklin, so there's no chance I'm gonna get corona.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. If
I
I
don't
get
know, man.
coronavirus, it's going to be because of my work, not because of anyone I talk to in Franklin, Kentucky.
Okay, first off, I never really watched this show, but that reminds me of I just saw this part on Cheers on Netflix. There's just a little clip it scene, and this guy's sitting there drinking a beer, and they're like, "Oh, so what do you do?" And he goes, "Oh, I work at the university, and I clean up the hazardous waste and blah 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 blah." And they're like, "Oh, that's interesting." He's like, "Yeah." And he leaves, and see y'all, blah 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 blah, and they wipe down the whole damn bar as soon as he leaves, and they're spraying shit and everything. That's what I feel like. Somebody's gonna walk into the Rivergate Starbucks, and they're gonna be like, "Hey, what do you do?" "Oh, I work with the people who have coronavirus." Oh, cool,
Yep,
cool. How's that going
100%.
for you?
100%. Yeah.
Oh man.
So, do we know who's playing Old Dominion yet?
Let's see. I've got it pulled up here.
Okay.
Let's see. The girls. Old Dominion plays UTEP.
Ooh,
UTEP
okay.
beat. Yeah. So 2 versus 7. UTEP is decent. They haven't done as well in conference, but they were. It's kind of like the men.
Yeah.
They're a pretty decent team. Definitely not somebody to sneeze at, but I would expect. Like I feel like on both sides, the men and the women, there's about 3 teams that are really dominant.
Yeah.
And on the women, really, there's a few more. Charlotte and Middle, and well, UAB lost to La Tech, which is interesting. They were a 12 seed.
Oh wow.
So 12 seed La Tech goes to play Middle. So
That is
yeah,
a crazy loss there, though. Seriously.
Honestly, that's
Yeah.
Conference USA in a nutshell, though. I feel like the same thing
Yeah.
is going to happen either tonight or tomorrow with some type of ridiculous upset in the men's brackets. Or like when Middle lost
Yeah.
to Southern Miss when they were nationally ranked, they could have been such a good seed in the NCAA tournament and peed down their leg, and it was beautiful.
As long as it's not us, I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, on the men's side, I think it's wide open, but I know we're talking
Yeah.
about the women.
Yeah. No, you're
But I
fine.
would
Go ahead.
expect. I mean, I would expect now that UAB is out, I would expect one of the top 4 for sure to win. I mean, they really are top loaded.
Yeah.
In the women, I mean, you've got, including UAB, you had 6 teams in the top 100 in the RPI. Then
Yeah.
there's like a huge gap down to like 180 or something to the next team in conference. So, I mean, you just look at the quality over the whole season. Those top 4 teams are really, really good, like could beat anyone in the country. And then the other ones are, they're just very average Conference USA teams. So, I think it's going to be one of those 4.
So okay. So I think most of you probably agree that Rice will probably make it to the finals, right?
I would definitely put money on that because they're a pretty
I think
solid
so.
team.
Yeah, they did.
That Mulkey lady is
But they
unstoppable.
got their stuff together. Yeah.
Hey Ross, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, I didn't know when to interject into here, so
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, the 12-foot girl for Rice, she's just amazing. And
Nancy Mulkey, I think's her name. And well, in the guard, didn't she just win Player of the Year again? So like they're
Is it
two-headed
McCay?
Yeah, the two-headed
Yeah.
monster is ridiculous. So I mean, I just hope we can get them in the finals, and that's enough to push us into the tournaments at large. Because I don't have that much faith. Raneem, I mean, Matt, you and I saw him play last year in Frisco. Raneem is great, but she just doesn't match up against. She's not as athletic as Mulkey is. So
Yeah, I actually didn't get to see it or listen to it this year. I mean, they were saying Brett Williams, he was saying that she actually did fine against her. I don't know, but I know it's a lot more difficult for her for playing somebody 6'7" with skill.
Yeah.
Regardless. So I think it is tough, but I do think Western is just as hot as Rice is. I mean, Rice was undefeated for a while, and they've lost a couple games lately. So I think the door's open. But I definitely, like you, I'm watching the bubble because I kind of expect they're gonna probably lose to either Old Dominion or Rice, and I'm hoping it's Rice and they get lucky. But I've been watching the Bubble Watch, and there's been some. It was looking okay, and then there was a couple today that were just real kicks in the gut. Central Michigan lost in the quarterfinals of the MAC, and they were supposed to be a 9 seed.
Oh, wow.
Western beat them by 30 at home, and so it's kind of a double whammy. It hurts us because of our resume, kind of makes that a weaker win, and they may be fighting on the bubble with us. So who knows how the committee's going to look at that. But I've seen trouble the last couple of days, and I think we need to win the championship to be sure.
I think to kind of shut everybody up, I definitely agree. You gotta win out, and beating Rice is not going to be something to sneeze at or cough at. So you see what I did there? Okay. I'm going on a lot of lack of sleep right now, so
I'm sure you are.
so there's gonna be a lot of coronavirus jokes. So I actually, side story, just because I know I'm gonna go off anyway. But anyway, so my wife is friends with a girl she went to high school with, and she is Asian. Okay, I kid you not. This happened a few weeks ago, or a week or 3. Anyway, so they're going through the mall here in Elizabethtown, and literally she's walking with her son, who is obviously also Asian. They walk by this white couple, or this white lady and her daughter. The white lady grabs her daughter by the mouth, bop, and pulls her to the other side of the aisle to avoid them. I was like, are you kidding me? That is so ridiculous.
That's
Really?
just the world we live in, man. It's sad. And then the whole toilet paper thing, I just don't understand people.
I don't either. I really don't understand people. I really think people are retarded. But anyway, very stupid. I'll say that. But anyway, so
that's offensive, Devin.
I know, right? I was trying not to be offensive. So Western definitely has to win out. The game will be at 2:00 tomorrow on ESPN Plus. If they win, they will play the winner of ODU and you said UTEP, right? Okay. Yeah. So probably betting on an ODU win, in my book anyway. And it looks like Western has lost the last one they played to ODU, and it was 76-65. Sorry.
I would say. What I would say is there are 2 different teams now. Old Dominion has really slipped the last few weeks and lost several games.
Oh, wow.
They were standing at 1 loss, I think in February, mid-February. So now all of a sudden they've lost a few games, and I definitely think they're beatable. They're really well coached and all that, and they've got some talent. They've got a lot of talent. But I think Western's playing as well as anybody in the conference, and I would slightly favor them, but I mean, it's really just a total coin flip with those two. So,
okay,
it would be a really good matchup.
I think I agree with you. I think if we shut the big girl down low, I think Western has a definite shot of beating them. So, but anyway, so did Conference USA shut the doors as far as people going to it?
No, it's still open.
Really?
So I just saw a tweet.
A crowd of more than 1,000. It's fine.
You're not wrong.
I just saw a article posted by Brett Vito of the Denton Record Chronicle that Elliot Pratt retweeted. Basically, they met today and they're determining what their course of action. So I'm guessing there's games going on today and tonight. That's how we'll find out who wins UAB and UTSA. But I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow they announce that they're not going to let fans in anymore. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it couldn't be more than 2,000 or 3,000 fans, period, unless North Texas actually embraces their team this year. So,
which probably won't happen.
My thing is hey, if you're not within 6 feet of a person, you're fine. So if they take those 23 people and just make them sit like 4 or 5 seats apart, shouldn't it be? I mean, it should be fun, right?
It should be
theoretically.
Yeah. But I mean, it was like what I tweeted after the NCAA made the announcement that the NCAA tournament's not going to have any fans. It's like, well, now everyone will get to know what it's like to be in Conference USA. Welcome to the club.
Yeah,
Hey,
no
I
kidding.
mean, FIU, I think, might win the national championship if they make it in because they will be the most
They would
accustomed to
definitely,
no
yeah.
fans present.
They would definitely have an advantage. So if they were to somehow get in and win the conference tournament and then get an
They
NCAA
play in a
tournament, give them
morgue
a
at home
natty.
all the time.
Pretty much.
Yeah. There's
Devin, there's your death joke, buddy.
Oh my gosh, their arena is quiet as a tomb. I'll tell you that. Okay. I couldn't help myself. Okay. So we're going to the men's side of things. The men beat FIU 91-85 on the 7th. So we're in tournament right now, obviously. They play game 7 at 8:30. So that's tomorrow night, am I right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
tomorrow.
March.
Yeah.
I can't read. It
8:30
says
Central, 9:30 Eastern. Yeah.
Yeah, it says on the top of the little graphic, Thursday, March 12th at 8:30. So if I just
Central
read stuff, it's on Stadium, so you can check it out there. Who are we got?
UAB and UTSA, the winner of.
Okay, so they play tonight. That is Central Time, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So basically, when our podcast gets finished here, they will be. The game will start. Oh, okay. Sorry. Abby woke up at like 2:00, didn't go back to bed till 4, and she was up at 6. So,
Dad life.
hashtag yes. So let's just kind of go around and let's see what everybody thinks. Who are we going to play first off? I'll go to you, Ross, and then our chances, and then the next round. Who do we play? Ross, what do you think?
I mean, I'm going to go with UAB. They've been the much more consistent team. UTSA has basically been all Jackson just jacking up shots. Quick aside, I mean, I was very happy that he didn't win Player of the Year, just being a ball hog and just throwing up shots all the time. I mean, I think basically Hollingsworth, if he would have hit that free throw last week, would have won it. But I don't have any real complaints about Hamlet winning it over Hollingsworth. Just happy that Jackson didn't win it. Levin, Mac Targay, I think UAB will take care of business, and we've got a revenge match right off the bat to start off tomorrow night. That's my guess. And then if that happens, then we play. I'd be shocked if it's not Louisiana Tech in the semis. So
Completely agree. Jared, what do you think, bud?
See, I don't really feel like that way. I'll say not so fast to that. I think that UTSA, I think they will play a stronger game than UAB will.
Bless you.
All right. I hope
it's like coronavirus I've got.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
Oh, man. But I think that UTSA will pull it off. I still think that Jackson and Wallace are talented enough that they'll show up for at least one game in the conference tournament and be able to catch UAB off and at least advance to the next round to play us. Of course, third time, you never know what's going to happen. I would love to say that we would win that game, but anything is possible. I still don't really know how I feel about Western entering the conference tournament because, I mean, as much as I would want them to have fresh legs and to be able to come out and play really strong, we've seen games where they just didn't look like they had it together. But thankfully, if the latter part of the season is an indicator of what we'll get in Frisco, I think that this is going to be okay. I mean, outside of losing to Charlotte, but they were making the most ridiculous shots possible, like just one shot after another. So I think that we would have a shot against UTSA again. But looking at the conference outside of that, I mean, like you said, Ross, going up against Tech, that's going to be really tough. And if we were to somehow beat them for like the third time this season and advance again, that's another really, really interesting matchup that we could end up with. So I'm really concerned, I'll be honest. I don't know what to think. As much as I think that Western could get to a conference championship again, I don't want them to go because I feel like they'd lose for a third time, and then my heart would be broken, and I would just be really sad. So
we'll here's my quick thoughts before Matt's gets. You want to enjoy, regardless what happens, you want to enjoy at least one more day of basketball, even if you get screwed at the end. But B, I think the results range for Western can be anywhere from losing tomorrow night to winning the whole thing, and they could any step of the way. I mean, I don't think it doesn't matter who we play or whatever. Our margin for error, the fact that we don't blow people out, and the fact that we don't have depth. I mean, obviously we have talent. I think getting Rawls and Justice going during that last game against FIU was huge. Let's hope that pertains to like a big end of the year finish for them, because I think that was the main reason we lost the North Texas game the previous week, because you got to get consistent production from everybody. You can't just lean on a Hollingsworth or a Carson Williams or whoever. All 6 rotation players have to get double figures, and then Cozart's got to buy us minutes, and Stansberry's got to play Gambrell a couple of minutes just to give these guys a break too if we're up big. So that's kind of my thoughts on where it's at, and I'll Matt can throw his 2 cents in.
You're up, Matt. What do you got, bud?
Okay, here's my 2 cents. Okay. I hope it's
Okay, that's it.
2 cents.
Sorry, it was just 2.
Anyway, okay, so I look at UAB, UTSA. I think that's a coin flip to me. I mean, UTSA, you never know what you're going to get. Earlier in the year, they beat North Texas. They beat somebody and blew them out. It's one of the better teams. I don't know if it was La Tech or whatever. But they have the ability to beat anybody. And I would also say if they do make it past UAB, Jackson's probably going to be pissed off about not getting Player of the Year and not getting respect and all that kind of stuff, even though obviously Tavion didn't win either. But I think he's going to be trying to prove that he's the best player. That'd be interesting to see what he does. I'd probably pick UAB by a little bit, but I wouldn't be shocked about UTSA being there. And the way I look at how Western is playing and everything, the last several games, the last 2 losses we had, extraordinary things had to happen for us to lose. The North Texas was a total battle, and we just couldn't make free throws, and that was one of the first games of the year that we shot that horrible from free throws. Also didn't get a lot of good calls there. And then Charlotte, a team that doesn't really shoot well, shot over 50% and made a bunch of threes and all this stuff, and we only lost by 2. So to me, I think we're playing pretty well. What sucks, I think, is the draw, because I think everybody on our side is not a great matchup. One thing I'll say, I know you are saying I pretty much guarantee you La Tech is going to be in the semis. I would say watch out for Marshall, because Marshall's been playing really well lately. They're really young, and they've been getting exponentially better the whole year. So watch out.
And they did beat Tech, I guess, before bonus play. When Tech came here the first time, they beat them in their one matchup. So
well, there you go. So I would just watch out for Marshall before you just put the Sharpie in on the semifinals for La Tech.
Well, and even in that mode, UTEP is as talented as anybody. You're dang right on the whole this whole side of the bracket.
It's a crap draw. This whole side sucks.
I'd
say we'll be. Go ahead, man.
No, it's crazy, because you have a bunch of underachieving teams, and you have Louisiana Tech, who's by the computers the best team in the conference. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I would say. That I will be scared of each of these first 2 games, and then when we get to the championship, I feel pretty good about whoever we play, as long as it's not FIU.
But then the whole depth thing
I feel
is an
good
issue.
against whoever.
If we were to
on
get to
other
the
side.
conference title game, that's the other issue, though, is the depth. Like, how fresh are the legs going to be for our players? Are they just going to kind of fizzle out the way that they did against Old Dominion last year? They just completely shut our offense down. They just forced us to shoot a bunch of threes, and of course, we weren't a good 3-point shooting team at all. But yeah, I agree with what you said, Ross, especially with Cam Justice and Rawls. And I would throw Savage in there too, is that they need to play at a high level in one game, not just spared out, because they definitely need it, especially Justice. If we don't have consistent play from Justice in either of these games, I think that could be the end of this season, because when he's shooting well, he's one of the main factors for this team, and Stansberry makes such a big deal out of him and his leadership on the court, and he does all these other things. His presence out there is what's so important. Yeah,
wow.
Exactly. Like
Stans was called in. Wow, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, it's just stuff like that. He makes such a big deal out of it. So I want to actually see him show up, because I mean, other than that, I mean, if he shows up and becomes the hero for this tournament and helps his team kind of get to where they need to go, then he'll be remembered as an amazing addition to this team. But other than that, I mean, it's just been kind of flippy-floppy and not very consistent play from him, which is frustrating as a grad transfer.
Okay, so besides Western, let's say Western gets knocked out. Who are the final two teams?
Oh, God.
Ross, I'll go with you first.
I'm going to go with Tech, and I will say on the other side, I'm going to go with an upset and go with Mets. I'm going to go with Charlotte coming out of the other side. They're arguably the hottest team in the league right now. Even though they got blown out by Tech in the last game, but I think that defense travels and defense will cover up a lot, and that's why I'm going to go with Charlotte as the upset on the other side.
Okay. Jared, what do you think, bud?
Honestly, I don't know. Just give me freaking UTEP and Rice. I don't even care anymore, man. I feel like
Rice isn't even in it, Jared. So
they already lost.
Oh, they are. Yeah, they're okay. Never mind. They're down 7 at the half. So
all right. I believe in the Owls. It's going to be like the 11 seed versus the 12 seed because screw any type of logic that this conference has.
Matt, what do you think, buddy?
Man. I have a tough time going against La Tech. So I say that's an easy one if Western's not there. And then on the other side, I'm gonna go with. I really like FIU. They've got guys that can shoot. They've got a guy that can score 16 or 17 a game. They've got the big guy that leads the nation in blocks and shoots 70% from the floor, and he could shoot free throws. They're a really good team, and especially if everybody gets quarantined, they're going to be right at home.
That's great. I will agree. Honestly, I can definitely see Marshall playing La Tech and Marshall meeting Western in that semifinal there. Mm-hmm. I know that may be a
fun fact about Tech is they always choke. They haven't been in the tournament since '91, even though they've had some good teams. So,
let's just hope we don't
beating a curse is always hard. So maybe that we've got that going for us. So,
yeah. So, I definitely can see Western making it to at least the semis. But out of the other side, I could see North Texas and Charlotte coming on through. But we'll just have to see. The game is tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. on Stadium.
I'm gonna be burning in midnight oil watching this game. I hope it's worth it.
Yeah, no kidding. But you'll be in the same boat as everybody else. We'll see, I guess, as far as if everybody's going to be there or if nobody's going to be there. If it's just the curtain. But
if we win on tomorrow, then Friday I think it's 3:30 Central.
So if Western wins let's say Western wins the conference, do you steal the curtain? Do you just take it home with you and pack it in your bag?
Honestly, that's a pretty big curtain, and I'm not really sure what you would do with it. I mean,
I just picture little Jared trying to carry it off. That makes me happy.
Yeah. That would be so great.
Yeah. I would be underneath it and you just see a little bitty lump out of this huge black mass.
That would be great. Oh my gosh. So I do have some questions. Let me pull up Facebook here because I almost forgot those. Let's see.
We had some Twitter questions too.
Okay. Let me pull up Twitter.
There was one that somebody messaged your account too. I saw that. If you forget it, I know who's.
No, I know who it is. Yeah.
All right, I was making sure.
Yeah. That's my father who sent that to me.
Oh.
Shout out, Dad.
I assume there was some type of relation in that.
Yeah, since we got into it the week before, yeah, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Yes, here we go. All right. Okay,
this is killing me.
I know, right? I'm so good at being productive and staying ahead of this, making sure I get the. Oh gosh, I hate this. Come on, Facebook, get this crap together. No, there we go. No.
Well,
Okay,
dang,
so
while
anyway.
we're waiting. Okay, never mind.
I know, right?
I've got the ones from the tower rack after we subtweeted you if you need it. So
Yeah, go ahead if you don't mind.
all right, we will start off with NTSN. Actually, I really like this guy on Twitter. He's the North
do
Texas
too,
fan that actually interacts with us all the time.
Yeah.
And he had a couple good questions. First, are y'all bringing the same amount of fans or more as last year? I think no. I mean, Matt, what do you think on that?
Well, I mean, because of Corona stuff, I mean, now people are probably going to be afraid they're going to cancel. But I would say less anyway. I think you've got a portion of people that are probably tired of hoping, and they're not really confident in the team. And, you got 6 players, all that, plus all the health fears. So I say no way.
And I think third year going there too. So I think people like you and I last year went. Probably people went the first year. It's the newness is kind of worn off. So yeah, I mean we usually travel better than almost anybody in the conference. But yeah, I'm not expecting a huge crowd this year. But we'll have a decent showing. Okay, here's a good one too. So do you guys believe there should be a rotation for the tournament between locations, and where would you put them? And he put in quotations, not Birmingham. So, Jared, where would you like to see some potential locations, and would you like a rotation for the Conference USA tournament?
I mean, honestly, yeah, I think it would be a good idea just to see if the sales do a little better for different locations. Of course, I've always been one of those people that's vouched for either Nashville or Memphis, somewhere in Tennessee. I think that's a good kind of centered location. But I mean, of course, with the way that the conference is, it is pretty ridiculous and how far apart everyone is. I think Memphis would be a good place to do it at, preferably in a basketball arena. I think that would be an amazing venue. If we could get that for the Conference USA basketball tournament, a basketball venue, that would be insane. Although, I mean, you guys said that the curtain and all of that wasn't bad. And I mean, it is new facilities and all that, so I can believe that. But that's just a little gripe that I have, is that I wish it was in a place that was kind of designed for basketball. Although I liked Municipal Auditorium in Nashville for the OVC tournament. I thought that worked out really well. And that's kind of a good place. That would be cool if we could do it there.
Did you ever go there, Jared? Isn't that place kind of a dump now?
Yeah, the seats are terrible. I will say that. They're not very comfortable at all. But,
I mean, if you could get it on like Vanderbilt's campus or even
or even Belmont's.
Belmont or Lipscomb's, where there's like you're gonna have 5,000 fans, and that's all you really need.
I mean, I think it would be better to have it in a smaller venue that's going to be sold out with maybe 5,000 people than one that's going to be kind of big and looks so empty and dead it has.
Did any of y'all go to Birmingham? I went Ray Harper's last game, and yeah, it was so cavernous and everything else. So, but I think I'm with you guys. Like Nashville, Memphis. You think about the biggest fan bases in Conference USA. It's us. Marshall, I think La Tech. Yeah, you make it drivable somewhere like that. I mean, even like somewhere like I don't know, somewhere weird like Jackson, Mississippi, that's not a million miles away, but it's kind of in the middle. I think that's like a good compromise. So,
I think a Memphis and Atlanta, bigger areas.
Atlanta would be a good one. Get your Old Dominion, Charlotte,
get your Florida schools,
Marshall.
Too.
Yeah, since we had the screw up last week on Podbean, thanks a lot, guys. Didn't we talk about this, Jared? Wasn't this last week or was it the week before we talked about
Yeah, I mean, I had my whole spiel that was like, I think that was when you were tending to your baby, that I was complaining that I had this whole great spiel about why we needed to have it somewhere else. And no one will get to hear that, so what a shame. But I mean,
yes.
The condensed version is. I think it would be good to rotate it. And I think if you had places like Memphis and, like you said, Mississippi, maybe Atlanta, places like that. But
Nashville.
We need a new commissioner more than anything else. I'm tired of Judy, and it's not going to grow as a conference under her anymore. That's just my 2 cents.
Okay, so let me back up a little bit because Jared kind of touched on something, and I think it's hilarious. Last week after we had our debacle, I didn't even realize it till the show was over. But right in the middle of the show, my wife sends me a text and says, "I need your help." So I go downstairs, and the baby has exploded all over her. Like, literal poo has just, she got shot, basically. And so I had to
Been there.
had to try and clean her up. Not my wife took care of herself. I got the baby, got her cleaned up. So I had Abby on the show having a fit for a few minutes, but it was really bad. So in some ways, I hate that we missed Jared's little rant about moving the conference play around, but at the same time, it's one of those where it was like, man, nothing was going right last week. So, did everybody get to answers? Just so in case
Did Matt answer?
Basically. Basically, the Atlanta, what about having it at campus sites? Like, separate the men and the women. I don't know if you do the number 1 seed or whatever, but pick a destination and rotate to places that would support it. And I think you'd have way more attendance. It'd be more exciting atmospheres, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the ASUN and Liberty, like they hosted their conference tournament, and that place was absolutely sold out. They were going nuts, and they got to see their team punch their bid in for the tournament and get 30 wins in a season. So that could be an idea, is that whoever gets to the conference championship is whoever hosts it.
I mean, it's logistics, and we're cheap. That's probably the biggest problem behind that. But I mean, this year, like, if it was in the Super Pit or Frisco, what's the difference?
Yeah, and what if it was in Diddle, though, and we hosted a conference championship? Imagine what that environment could look like.
Oh, I mean, we did it in the Sun Belt. What was it, like 2002 or 3, Matt?
That was back before I was born.
Maybe
Ross,
03.
obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when you do that, I mean, even in MTSU back in the day, I think that game that Courtney Lee broke his hand or something, and
I was
that was a big one. Yeah, it's when you do the campus sites, it's a great idea. You just better hope your host city does not, like when we knocked out UAB, it pretty much killed any chance of the finals being worth the damn. But I mean, it's not like the atmosphere is great anyway as is. I mean, we went to the championship last year, and there's maybe like 30 ODU fans. So
Maybe.
yeah,
See, that's my thing. I'm sitting here thinking it wouldn't be bad to do like a split. So you'd have it like in Denton and then have it in Bowling Green, because we would be the 1 and the 2. And then whoever was the top seed, they would get the bid to go. You get what I'm saying? So like if Western won out, everybody else would finish in Bowling Green. Does that make sense? But at the same time, if Western lost, then the atmosphere is as dead as the coronavirus right now. I mean,
yeah, unless you got Middle or Marshall, which might be okay. But the thing is, and we can get into this discussion, that tweet I had last night, and that, our league is just weird because we have a bunch of schools that actually put in a lot more resources than our former conferences, but no one's really consistent ever. So, like, you look at who was the top 4 pods last year. We're the only team back. 2 years ago, Middle was world beaters, and now they can't even win 10 games. It's so hard to have consistency in our league, and the programs like in the OVC, like Belmont or whatever, you basically have to just beat one other really good team every year, and you're so it's those days where it's like Conference USA, like no one thinks of Louisiana Tech as like a world-beating program, but they're consistently 20 to 22 wins every season. That's hard to overcome, and it's kind of what's made it's this last decade so hard and frustrating.
completely agree. So let me go to my father's question. Will WKU stick with their men's basketball coach, or will he be canned as of yet? He has not made it to the big dance, and the inability to create a bench has been a major issue, as well as inconsistent defense in crucial times has been a problem. Will WKU keep him, or will he be fired?
Oh, that's a fun question.
He's back. He's back next year regardless.
I think so too. Jared, you think so?
Yeah, I mean, even if we don't get to the NCAA tournament, Stansbury still has plenty of excuses, especially with this year saying that Bassie was out. Even though they still have done really good without him, still got to 20. Yeah, they still got to 20 wins. He's got plenty of those. But just looking at his past 4 years that he's been here, it has been he's done a lot of the things that he said he was going to do. Like, he started the whole sellout diddle thing, trying to sell the program back to the fans and get sellout games. It happened.
But now it's getting stale.
Yeah, we've all been showing up. We've all been doing our job. We're ready for you to do yours and get us back into an NCAA tournament because you've had plenty of chances. You've been the best recruiter that this program has ever seen. You've landed a 5-star recruit, 4-star recruits, plenty of 3-star recruits. You've gotten all these Mr. Kentucky basketballs. It's time you do something with it. If you see, as much as he can use the excuse that Kenny Cooper wasn't eligible this year or Bassey got hurt, just think if he didn't run off some of these other guys that were on his roster that could have provided more depth. Think if he didn't try to go after all these people with all these eligibility issues, like all these other grad transfers that he's had to deal with before. And then, of course, the other big thing is looking at how he retains the roster. I mean, there's so many other players that have left that would have been such good additions, like Tolu Smith or Merrick Nelson or players like that would have stepped up a lot this season and helped this team get to their potential. And
Either one of them would have been the tallest rotation player.
Yeah, and it just seems like every season he's been here since his first season, which I don't really count because he inherited Harper's mess and all of that, but he doesn't have that many scholarship players. He gets all these players recruited, and a bunch of them leave before the season even starts. And then other ones aren't eligible either until halfway through the season or the end of the season. And you only have 7 guys on your active roster. I don't think that looks really good, and that kind of brings the whole team down to what they should be. There's a lot that we could harp on this, but
we have harped on it all season.
Yeah. And we will as the season progresses. Like after the season is over, we'll still be talking about it. But I look for Western to keep him again just because he's still a good recruiter. That's what's going to keep him here. And the hope of, I'll get all my guys and then we're going to make a big run. I'll have all my pieces. I think we're ready for like the 5th time. But I would, if I'm Todd Stewart, I don't sign into another big contract or anything like that. I don't want us to have like a Stockdale and MTSU kind of thing where he gets like a $6 million contract for so many years and then he starts to suck and we can't get out of it.
I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I don't think that would happen. But if he signs him for a respectable like 2-year contract and then go from there and see what happens, I think that's really fair. But I wouldn't do more than 4 years again. That's just me.
Matt, what do you think?
Well, I've been waiting all season to talk about this stuff. But I mean, okay. First of all, anybody that says he should be fired, I just don't. I don't think he deserves that.
I don't see it.
At the beginning of the year, I mean, especially in the middle of the year, I was really frustrated, and I was ready for him to. I mean, put up or shut up. That was my stance. But honestly, if you look at all the comebacks with no depth. I mean, there's 5 double-digit comebacks in conference play that we found a way to win. You got to give him some kind of credit for that. And I just think this year you can't fire him no matter what. And it's just not even on the table.
Because a lot of people had him in Coach of the Year for discussions in Conference USA.
He probably should have. I mean, it was amazing what he did, and you just got to take your hat off and give it to him. However, I'm tired of sitting and watching mediocrity and heartbreaking basketball where you just feel like you've got a chance, but then you have your opportunity, like against Marshall, and you completely play Marshall's game and you can't make any threes. You play Old Dominion and you get shut down and you have no energy. What's going to happen this year? I am frustrated with it. I think if he makes the tournament, then that's one of the best coaching jobs that anybody's ever done at Western.
All his sins are absolved if we win this week. Yeah,
100%. I'm totally on board. If he makes it, great. I love Rick Stansbury. He's God on campus. If he doesn't, then I think we go back to where I was next year. You better freaking win, and there's no freaking excuses anymore. You need to get to the tournament, or you need to go away. That's where I'm at.
So let's
I got something to quick add to. It's just
Go ahead, Ross.
Next year, I think it's the end of the road. Regardless, with him, just when it comes, like he said, no excuses. Like you'll have Hollingsworth as a senior, Anderson as a senior. You'll have Carson Williams as a senior. You'll have Bassey coming back for his 3rd year. because of the injury. You'll have Kenny Cooper. Basically the roster will have, and then probably Zion Harmon. Yeah, Zion Harmon probably going to come here. Like, there's just the talent and depth level. He's got to prove next year. Like, if we make the tournament this year, the momentum's just going to be at an all-time high, and everybody's just going to be geeked out. But if we come up short, then next year it's basically no excuses, and we can't let him spin BS and just blame stuff like. And he's got to show he can extend the bench. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, that's the thing before Bassey got hurt, which, he played Anderson 20 minutes a game. He just could not figure out the lineup. He played Rawls like 10 minutes a game. It's like, you got to figure out who your horses are and you got to ride them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to give them breaks.
I want to say something about the 6-man rotation stuff. He was doing that before Charles got hurt. It was still basically 6 men. It was just different combination. Like you said, he barely played Rawls. He didn't really play Josh that much, and he was really riding 6 guys. And then Charles gets hurt, and instead of realizing that the at-large is gone, get some guys some experience and play 7 guys. Throw in Gambrell. He's done nothing but done a good job. I think Matt Horton was in the doghouse or whatever, but play a big guy every once in a while.
I think Cozart's shown something.
Yeah, absolutely. No question. And what happened when Gambrell was in overtime against La Tech? He made a huge layup that changed the course of the game. Like, let the guy play. He knows what he's doing. He adds quickness and all that stuff. Let the man play. But you have to, all this excuses about, well, there's no talent on the bench. That's bullcrap. That's utter bullcrap, because look at all these other teams that have 2 and no star players that are playing 10 deep. There's no excuse. Play who you've got and build up their confidence. Like, Ray Harper was a terrible recruiter, but you know what he did? He built up his players and he threw them in big moments when he needed to play his bench. There's a big difference between Stansberry and Ray Harper in terms of how they handled their players. And Ray's players were confident and ready to play, even though they were not very talented. And Rick's are scared. And they get in
I wouldn't say they're scared now. I would
confidence.
say the end of the bench are, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if they get in, they're going to be needed at some point. There's going to be an overtime game. There's going to be somebody's going to foul out. Somebody's going to get hurt because they've been playing 40 minutes a game the last half a year. Somebody's going to have to play. So now they're not going to be ready, and I hope they step up and make something happen despite not being really ready to go.
Yeah, completely agree. And I mean, it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier in the year. I mean, basically all year is Stans never goes to his bench. Basically, I mean, they'll get a 1 or 2 minute break here or there, and you'll have the 6th guy who gets in for maybe 10 minutes or whatever. But it's the same. I don't want to beat the dead horse because that's basically all we talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, apparently Doug Schultz thinks he's going to see us in Frisco. What's up? Maybe you will, Doug, and maybe you won't. If we go the way of the Ivy League, who goes to the dance?
It would have been North Texas, but
Yeah.
too late.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
already started the tournament.
Okay. So Matt asks, who is a team that must win 4 games in 4 days that has a legit chance to win the whole thing? 4 games. Let's see.
So it'd be the teams that don't get buys.
So the people who are playing tonight. So you got FAU, ODU, Rice, FIU, UTSA, UAB, UTEP, and Marshall. I think, Matt, you said Marshall earlier. I totally agree with
Marshall, and I honestly like Old Dominion, even though they're losing right now.
I was going to say ODU and FIU, but yeah.
Yeah, and FIU too. Yeah, those are my 3 that I really.
I could see UAB getting, let's see, somewhat hot and making a run to the finals, but I don't know if they really have the firepower to do 4 straight games. So,
Who is the scariest team not named WKU, UNT, or La Tech? And Ralph said FIU and UAB. I agree with that. Maybe
I'd
not
say
you.
Marshall.
I think Marshall is scary because of our history with Marshall. They always like stealing crap from us, basically.
And,
I mean,
they've got shooters, too.
And they've
Well,
got
yeah.
size. They got that big old boy that created huge problems in the first game against
Ira
He
Bennett.
was- yeah. Man, he was dominant, and I think we figured out how to play him. But still, if that guy gets us into foul trouble, well, guess what? There's nobody that can come off the bench to do anything. So it's just I see issues with them, and I think they've gotten way, way, way better since we played them the first time.
Yeah. So that's basically all of our questions. Basically, a lot of statements after that, but I'm just going to finish up here with one little scenario. Let's just say you got the coronavirus, okay? I know we've been joking about it the entire time, but so what would you do for the 2 weeks of isolation? Matt, I'll let you go first because I've been going to Ross the whole time.
That's all right, man. I forgive you.
Appreciate it.
Okay. So I'm isolated too. Am I in my house or am I in the hospital?
We'll say you're in your house, but your family can't come around.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I didn't think about that.
You got to be isolated so nobody can be there.
Oh man. Well, I mean, if it's right now, I'm just gonna sit back and watch basketball. And
I mean, yeah.
that's easy, man. March Madness is the best time of the year. It's
Uninterrupted.
kinda awkward with no crowds. I can just focus on the basketball.
Well, see, and that's kind of the bad thing, though, is I enjoy like watching the people in the crowd. So if they
Oh yeah,
bring a
I'm
goofy
devastated,
sign,
man. It just takes so much of the fun away. I think it's an absolute crap show, man. I hate it.
Ross, what are you doing, buddy?
So 2 weeks. I mean, obviously watching basketball. I would probably clean the crap out of my house. Like Matt knows, and you're getting to learn this, Devin. When you have 2 kids around, your house is a constant flux of disaster.
Yes.
And like, I think I would use that time to just make it like I was about to sell the damn place clean because there's just like every room has toys in it. There's crap that at the end of the day you work long day and you play with the kids and then you're beat and you just don't really have time to do it. I would make my house immaculate if that was the case.
Yeah, I second that, man. It is a freaking difficult job to keep your house clean when you got little turds running around throwing stuff and like flinging stuff over the top of the baby gate, and they strip naked in the middle of the room and run around and poop everywhere. I mean, it's just like, come on.
You said the
man.
kids or you?
My daughter, she's in the phase like we're trying to potty train her and stuff. So she's just like stripping off her clothes and running around. And
Same with my daughter,
in the middle
man.
of the night, she's butt naked. I mean, whatever, man. Put your clothes on.
My daughter is developed this little ninja thing where when I go to change her diaper, even if I do the little trick where you put the new diaper under the old diaper, then pull the old diaper, she is a ninja peer. She can pee and get it all over the place before I can get the other diaper, situated.
Yeah.
I have been peed on about 5 times. So, fun fact.
Oh, wait till you have a boy, man. It's even funnier because just the distance.
Dude, I swear one day she peed like a dude. She literally, I had her on a little ottoman about a foot and a half, 2 foot from me, and she peed on me. I was like, good God, kid, how much you got in your bladder? You got that much force behind it that you can pee on me? I guess the
old
answer
and it's time to potty train, buddy.
at 6 weeks, yeah, okay.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
But I guess to answer my own question, I'd probably just go nuts. 2 weeks of trying to find something. I mean, yeah, you can clean, but you can only clean so much. And if you're at your house, if you're in the hospital, it's a little different because they'll just bug the shit out of you the entire time. But if you're at home, I mean, it's a completely different story. I mean, there's only so many shows you can watch before you get bored. I mean, I
think it'd be a combination of things, and with my job, I'd probably be working from home too, even if I was quarantined, because you gotta get that money. So
True, me too.
Honestly, if since we're a small family operation, if one of us got sick and we all had to be quarantined, we'd have to shut down for 2 weeks, and it would be miserable. Because business wise, that would suck. But
well, that's the big fear. Is I would say, I didn't make the conversation earlier, but the fact that the not having fans, that's kind of funny and novel. But there's legitimate businesses, small businesses that are going paycheck to paycheck to survive, and if people all of a sudden are staying home and stuff like that, it could have some bad ramifications. So let's hope it's not as
yes, completely agree with you, Ross.
Yeah.
But okay,
That happens.
Ross, what you missed earlier, and I'll just kind of recap it before we go, is I just don't feel like the coronavirus is as bad as the media is portraying it. And
I totally agree with that. I mean, I totally agree, but just being out in the real world, seeing we're luckily here in Kentucky. We've only had 7 or 8 cases and something like that. But in some of those areas like Seattle, that would be scary as crap, man. And,
Yeah.
And let's just hope that all these overblown measures will be enough to just avoid it, and we can all laugh in 2 months and just say, "Man, that was an overreaction." So
yes, and of course, yeah. Thoughts and prayers to all those that are affected by the coronavirus. We are trying to make light of the situation because that's what we do, but we're not making fun of any one particular person, group, or anything like that. But we are thinking of you all who have it, those who are stuck at home listening to us on their podcast. We feel sorry for you. But check out the women's basketball. They'll be playing tomorrow. It's sometime. You can just look it up on the tower.
Matt, what time is it, buddy? You're a Lady Tops guy.
Yeah, man. 2:00.
2:00
on
tomorrow.
ESPN Plus.
Matt will be live tweeting and recapping.
I've got maybe. I'll try to give you a recap. But I've got some appointments in the middle of the day, so we'll see. But I will be trying to do everything I can.
Awesome, man.
Men play at 8:30. I think is that what we just talked about?
8:30 Central. Yep, on
And,
Stadium.
Baseball has a series against. Sorry, let me Jim Rome this and flip through my papers. Baseball has a series against UAB on this weekend. Softball plays North Texas. Next week, men's play Austin P. So let's go beat P. And then they play Tennessee Tech next. Softball plays Tennessee Tech next Wednesday.
Softball's really. I know you guys probably. Softball and baseball both have a really great start, and if hopefully the coronavirus doesn't cancel that stuff out. So that's something to look forward to in the spring. As basketball ends.
20-5.
20-5,
I think.
Yeah,
it's really freaking hard to win that much in softball or baseball, whatever. So it's really impressive, regardless.
For those that go to baseball or softball games, I don't think they'll have an issue with getting the coronavirus. But just stay 6 feet away from people and wash your hands, nasty people, and stop buying so much toilet paper. Good God, gosh, I'd be like Napoleon Dynamite. But that's all I've got. What an idiot. That's all I've got, guys. Check out all the stuff the Taurec's rolling out. Follow their articles. Matt writes up some good stuff for Lady Tops. Support them.
I'll be trying to live tweet or at least update on the bubble and everything. I know people are going to be trying to find out what's going on, so be sure you watch out for that, for the Lady Tops.
So with this coronavirus scare, you can follow the Taurec for all your information with Hilltopper stuff. We will be back next week with the podcast, God willing.
Hopefully it's a celebratory podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, buddy, man.
Yes.
Or hey, didn't we do a March Madness? If Western makes it, can we try to swing a March Madness one on Sunday? That'd be kind of cool if we actually make the bracket. We don't have to do it like last year, but
Yeah. If we we'll try to. We'll see how it goes.
If we make the draw, that would be just amazing, man. I think we would all it would be the happiest podcast ever.
Oh yeah.
Well, second to Mike Sanford getting fired, but yeah. So, hey guys, check us out next week. Hopefully everything will be good. And as always, go Tops.
Go Tops.
Good having you, Matt.
Yeah, man. Love you,
Hey,
buddy.
yep.
Good talking to you guys, man. It's been too long. I miss doing this. I had to tell my wife, it's like, no, you're putting the daughter to bed so we can, so I can actually get on here.
There you go. All right. Well, yeah, I'll holler at y'all next week. See you guys.
All right, see y'all.
Later, guys.